Hey you all, so I wanted to make this video to give you some information about some of the foundational nutrients that you want to take in. Now, just to clarify, the reason for supplements, and might I say quality supplements, which we'll address in another video, is that what we're taking in or what we're dealing with in our bodies now is not the same as what we're dealing with grandmother, great grandmother. What they were dealing with is different from what we're dealing with now. And so since these nutrients are not inside of our food, or our soil is depleted of nutrients because of the chemicals and toxins on there, we have a higher toxic load and a higher stress load. So you want to consider supplementation because of these things. Okay, so I know sometimes we'll say, well, I eat a pretty balanced diet. Well, first of all, let's say that's extremely difficult to do with the type of supply, that food supply that we have. At the same time, I've often found that what we assume we're doing is not as efficient as what one thought. So in my experience, most of the time we're not getting in enough. In addition to that, we have to also look at the general statistics of, especially in the US, this is the culture here. We take a look at the health condition of our population. It is over 50% of the population is sick, unhealthy. And those are the situations or the circumstances that are actually identified and acknowledged. So you can estimate that it's above that. So just wanted to give you that little bit of information prior to going into this. So just wanted to give you some standard nutrients or supplementation vitamins that you should be taking in. And this is just in correlation to not just my experience, but information, just general research that is updated general research now. Okay, so a lot of these things like potassium, they're low when we look at the general population because of food supply and because many individuals over the age of 40 are on pharmaceuticals. And even when we look at the population, the younger population, even maybe teenage, many of these individuals in this particular population are also going on medications, psychological medications, and even the rate of diabetes is increasing along in that population as well. And so let's just take that into consideration as I'm mentioning these things. Some of them you might have heard of, and I just wrote down some things that I think are pretty important just to make sure I remember to cover everything that I wanted to cover. Some of them you might have heard about, but I've found that with my own, in my own experience with myself personally, and in caring for myself in regards to my health, that there's been things that I forgot about, came back around, and completely, later on looked back and said, oh my goodness, that was what I needed at that moment. And so because life changes and we start to, based on where we're at, prioritize different things, it's always good to go back and get a reminder and pay attention to your body, because oftentimes there'll be something that's off, that's not ideal, that's not optimal, and we just kind of overlook it and prioritize other things. So I just want to make sure that, I also remind you of that as well. Pay attention to your body. Don't worry, don't stress about it, but identify these things and don't let them continue. With myself, once again, like I know I'll use myself as an example. I've had issues that I just assumed were common and I didn't look into them. And then later on, they led to more serious issues. And so I just want to avoid that there. So pay attention to that and then just look for some answers. Okay. But definitely, stay in peace. Don't get frantic or worried or anything like that, because stress is also something that is very negative in regards to our body being able to function. So the first thing is vitamin D with K2. And of course, you've heard of vitamin D3, but you want to have it with the vitamin K2. And it's important for almost every function in your body. Your immune system, which is extremely important as you're, living longer, you need to give yourself that optimal support and lifestyle habits to really kind of gird up your body and help your body to do what it was designed to do, just because we have so much coming at it nowadays that we didn't before. So vitamin D with K2 2 is very important, okay? You want to do that. Make sure you don't get one that has, the seed oils mixed with it. Sometimes they'll do that. A lot of them, the vitamin D's, they'll use organic coconut oil or just coconut oil, which is something that's fine to put inside of it. So you want to read the labels just like when you read the labels for food, which I hope you all are doing. Can't reinforce that enough. And so it's important to have that K2 with it. And if you get it together, typically they'll be in the proper ratios. If we look at the statistics, the population over 50, there is a deficiency of that because we're not getting in enough from the number one source, which is being in the sunlight. A lot of times we're, kind of made fearful about the sun, but there are significant benefits that we need for our healing that don't take place when we're indoors. And now the other thing is going to be the electrolytes. Okay, now this is so important, you all, and especially with the potassium, because I know many individuals that have been diagnosed with high blood pressure. The common thing that I hear is lower your sodium. For one, not all salt is the same. We actually need sodium. We just need the right type of sodium. But just to say to lower the sodium, that doesn't really give the full picture. And so once again, I'm encouraging you all to really ask questions. But there's a balance that needs to take place with the potassium and sodium. The potassium is extremely important. It's needed in some of the highest amounts within the body in order for it to function. So I know you might have heard about potassium being harmful for the kidneys, but it isn't. It's actually protective. Now, if you do have kidney failure, that's different. And then when you're in that condition, there's so many nutrients that are, that you have to have it at a minimum. That's what makes it so detrimental for those of you that are on dialysis or that sort of thing, is that if your physician says your kidney function is decreasing, do what you need to do in order to get it back to an optimal level. But potassium, and you want to get potassium. I know you might think of bananas. You don't want it with the bananas because the bananas have a lot of sugar, and so avocado is going to be an excellent option. Kiwis are even a little bit better. They have a high amount of potassium, but if you're looking for something that would be the best, I would say avocados. In addition to that, get yourself an electrolyte powder. One powder that stands out to me is going to be Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder. And that's because, now there might be another one, but I haven't seen or not aware of another one that has 1,000 milligrams of the potassium. A lot of times they're a lot lower. And so I want to make sure that you're getting in enough. Electrolyte powder is balanced and they don't have those additional sugars in there. It uses stevia to sweeten it. So it's a lot better. So we have the sodium, the potassium, and the magnesium, which are some of the ones that you want to really keep your eye on. With the magnesium, you definitely want to take magnesium supplement. I would say magnesium glycinate is good. Find out your particular need because there's different types of magnesium. Magnesium oxide is the one that you don't want, but the other ones, you find out why those are or what they're most beneficial for, and then you can find the one that is best for you. But overall, you can get magnesium glycinate and take that before about half an hour to an hour before you go to bed. And that also helps you get in the magnesium that you need, and allows that potassium to be utilized properly as well in the body, and help to eliminate things like muscle cramps and any sort of muscle contraction issues there. Of course, if you're going to be more active, and of course you're going to need even more of those electrolytes. So that's an easy way to get it in. Get Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder, and you can just use 1 or 2 packets a day. If you're exercising that day, use an extra packet, and that's a really easy way for you to get in your electrolytes there. Okay, and for those of you that have high blood pressure diagnosis, keep in mind that you need to increase your potassium. It's definitely going to be one of those things that helps you to be able to regulate your blood pressure, and it could just as well be the issue. So instead of taking those blood pressure medications that actually cause more issues not too long after you've been taking them consistently, you can alleviate all of that and try the potassium first before you go on any sort of synthetic medication. I also want to mention this, is that if you take a diuretic, like some of you, if you have issues with your digestion, that could be an issue with low potassium. If you have frequent urination, that could be an issue with low potassium. And so, go for what you need first before you start to go and add in a synthetic. So all of those could be signs of potassium. If you have issues with maybe swelling around your ankle, that sort of thing, It could be potassium if you eat a lot of sugar. If you eat sugar daily, okay, some people don't really even realize how much sugar they take in, but they have a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and it accumulates, okay? And so there's hidden sugars as well, even for those of you that say, oh, I don't directly eat sugar. It's hiding somewhere. And if you have any of those issues, then you know, it could very well be that you have low potassium, not enough potassium. And so if you're having a lot of carbs, that's going to deplete your potassium. Matter of fact, if you have a lot of carbs, sometimes you might experience something like hearing your heartbeat in your ear. That could be a sign, or that's one of the signs of having low potassium. Like you'll lay down, but then you can hear loudly in your ear your heartbeat, okay? Those type of things, like I said, you don't want to ignore. And if you go to the doctor, they might just give you a drug that doesn't help, okay? So you need more potassium for sure. Avocados are great. And then the electrolyte powder would definitely help. Now, the other thing is going to be the trace minerals, okay? Just get a multi-mineral trace mineral. And with this, one of the things that stands out there is that because of the zinc, it has selenium, it has, and you know, really look into the benefits of selenium and how that could help many of you that are on medications. Iodine, chromium, all of these things are essential. Good trace mineral supplement is something that you want to get. A lot of times you get a multi-mineral or multivitamin, they'll have that in there, but the levels are so low. So I'll periodically get just the individual one so that I can adjust the dosages based on myself. Now, this is important for zinc. I've experienced this myself and with my clients. Zinc is one of those things that gets depleted if you have a higher level of stress. And then if you have an unhealthy diet as well. But zinc, even if you have something that's exciting, something that you're excited about, it's a positive stressor, you're seeing it as a positive stressor, or maybe you're just a type of caregiving, you know, type of person, that stress will deplete your zinc, will be utilized at a higher rate. Or if you have, you know, a high physical activity, that's possible as well, okay? So you want to get a good trace mineral that has all of these in there, and maybe get an additional zinc just for those times that you have a higher stress level. If someone passed away, all of these things cause stress on the body, so you want to get these trace minerals. Some of the signs is like being fatigued, you have pain in you'll have brittle hair, or you'll sometimes see it in your skin, maybe in your bones. You might feel some, you know, discomfort. There is another one that has the trace minerals in it. It's called Shilajit. It's also good for other things as well, strengthening your immune system, which the trace minerals will do as well. But it's a natural form that has a lot of those trace minerals in there. It's another one you can look into, a good quality one there. Okay? And you want to also keep in mind with all of these vitamins, we have fat soluble, water soluble. We have these vitamins, and our body needs to be able to absorb these nutrients. Okay? So along with all of these vitamins that I recommend, understand that you still need to be able to absorb it. So if you have bloating after a meal, you have constipation, irregular bowels, or sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's rocky, sometimes it's this or that, okay, well then you need to understand that you have digestive issues, okay? You don't want to take Tums, you don't want to take a proton pump inhibitor, those make it worse. But you want to do things to really optimize your gut, okay? First of all, it's going to be leaving the sugar and the alcohol alone. Those you want to destroy your gut, just go right ahead and take those. If you've taken antibiotics, don't be so quick to take antibiotics. Try things like oregano oil instead, things to strengthen your immune system ahead of time so that you're not dealing with that. That's going to be another option. And so really, you all, I just hate sickness, and you should too. And really, it's something that we don't want, but in this society and American culture, we're just like, okay, I don't feel well, let me go take a pill. We don't even think about the root cause. But if you take a pill that covers it up and that works in opposition to your body, then guess what? You never get to the root issue, and then the problem just compounds, okay? And it's not what you want. And then once we get the end result of it, then we just blame it on our age. No, you all, don't do that. So let's get these nutrients at the foundation, get the sleep, get the good filtered water in a glass bottle, leave that plastic out of there, and then pay attention to how your body is moving. Pay attention to how your body is actually functioning, because there is an answer for it already in the earth, and a lot of these will help take care of it. Another one is going to be the B vitamin. So just get a good methylated B complex, just with the full complex of B vitamins. Also say, in addition to that, get a B1 on the side in the form of benfotiamine. It's because so many issues come about when you're on that cholesterol medication. I know a lot of individuals that have expressed sciatic pain to me, and that's going to help with your nerves. The B vitamins help with that, and they help for the conversion of food into energy. And so if you eat a lot of carbs, then you more than likely have a depletion of B vitamins. If you're on any sort of traditional medication, and you're going to have that depletion as well. Also, let me mention this about the high blood pressure medication. So many individuals that I've worked with, I know, in my family, it's ridiculous the amount of people that go on the same drugs. And it's just, for one, we need to understand about potassium and sodium for high blood pressure. A lot of you just need more potassium. Take in more greens, more organic greens, and you can cook them. You can have it in the form of cabbage, that sort of thing. Other, greens that are organic, and you get a large amount of potassium. Just have, 2 salads a day, or 1 big salad, or just steamed vegetables, whatever kind of vegetable that works well with you to get that potassium up. But what I wanted to mention about the high blood pressure is that many individuals are taking 2 different medications for high blood pressure, and one of them commonly is what's called, some people call a water pill, and that actually causes a depletion of potassium, which is, think about it, your potassium being low can cause your blood pressure to go to a level that isn't beneficial for you. And so you're going to take a water pill that depletes the potassium and other minerals that you need, but especially that potassium. That's going to cause your blood pressure to go up high again. So always look at the natural substances first that are supposed to work with the body, because that's how God created it. He put them in the soil. And if you're a believer and you look at the Bible, explains in the very beginning that we were made from the earth, okay? From the soil, our bodies were, okay? And then he gave us his spirit, which was the best thing ever. So if you're on any medications, then the medications more than likely are going to deplete your B vitamins. So get a good B complex and then make adjustments based on what you need. Some people need a little bit of more B12 because of the medication or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, so many individuals have optimized their nutrient intake and absorption and seen amazing benefits. So you definitely want to do that. All right, the other one is going to be omega-3s. Okay, now this is important for many different reasons. For our joints, it reduces inflammation, but the reason that I want to highlight is how it affects the brain, you all. So for many of you over the age of 40 or over the age of 50, you are concerned about your memory and having memory loss. For one, you need to optimize your sleep. You need to prioritize your sleep. Stop staying up late watching TV. So many people will help themselves by turning off the devices, you all. Turn off that light. Read a book. Put on some nice soft light and music. Relax. Speak with someone that is having a good conversation. Stop all of this anxious watching. I mean, I know people that watch the news all day long. Please understand, the news has no concern about your health. And you staying up late looking at the food commercials. You all, turn it off. Put on something that is going to encourage you to be healthy in your mind, body, and your spirit, okay? I recommend reading the Bible or listening to a good sermon, planning your day, visualizing the day that you want for tomorrow. It's also good to journal in the evening time. You can write down the things that God did for you today and the things that you want to tell him about, your future. And he'll give you a better vision and bring that anxiety, anxiousness down. Turn off the news. If I could recommend anything for individuals, is to turn off the news. Turn off the news. So we have the trace minerals, we have the B complex, we have omega-3s, okay? And then we have the vitamin D3 and with the K2. So you want to make sure that you get those, you all, and then just continue to keep your ears open to what's going on in your body, your ears open to information that could benefit you in regards to nutrients. And in addition to all that, you all, most importantly, pray, okay? It doesn't even matter if you've never prayed in your life, because God is always listening out to hear from the ones that he loves. And you You are the one that he loves. And so he has a specific plan for you that is best for you, designed specifically for you. And what we are to do is just line ourselves up with that plan. And in that plan, it includes healing. Okay? And when you go to the New Testament, we see in there that Jesus went about doing good, healing and preaching. He said, let me share the good news. Now let me lay hands on you. Let me share the good news. Now let me touch this. Let me share the good news. Let me go do the, however he decided to heal. We spoke the word. He put spit with the, whatever it was. He was always healing, like healing, going about doing good and healing. So healing is good. It's like in the beginning when God said, it is good, it is good. He confirmed everything that was good. And those are the things that we can have, you all. And healing is one of them. So if you're not sure if God wants to heal you, please understand that he does. But guess what? It's better for you to get it confirmed from the Lord than to hear it from me. Okay? His words are way more powerful. He knows the specific ways that you need to hear. And that's going to be your first go-to when it comes to your health. He will lead you to the right person. He will lead you to the right group. He will highlight some information or bring something back to mind that you forgot. He will help you get and stay healthy, okay? And it's for his glory. And when these bodies are functioning, guess what? Then we're going out and we're loving people better. When you're sick and you're feeling bad, no matter how much you want to love a person, you can't fully love them. You can't. We need these bodies to be as healthy as they can. And understand that that's within God's plan, that he wants you to be healthy. It was like that from the beginning. Okay? All right, you all. So don't forget, those are some standard supplements there. And hope that was helpful. And I'll talk to you all soon. Have a blessed day, y'all.